Hello and welcome to this third video on number system. In this video, we'll learn the divisibility rules of numbers from 2 all the way up till 13. I will also share with you the logic as to how do we arrive at these divisibility rules, so that even if you forget one or two of these rules, you can always arrive at those rules using logic on your own. Most importantly, we will also solve one or two questions that uses the same concept. So let's get started. First, I would like to focus your attention on the rule of 2. Now, this is very simple and I'm sure all of us are aware. So let's say if I have a number like 8, 6, 4, 2, 5, 7, 3, 2. If I have to check whether this number is divisible by 2 or not, instead of dividing the whole number, and then checking if it's divisibility, all you can do is you can say I can just look at the last digit. And if the last digit is even or 0, if this is the case, that means this is divisible by 2. Now, this rule also a lot of people are aware, but the logic behind this rule also is very simple. That means if I have a number like, let's say 3, 2, 4, 6, 5, 8. So what I do is I can write this number in the form of 3, 2, 4, 6, 5, 0 plus 8, right? Any number I can basically separate out the unit digit and write it in this format. And this I can further write as 3, 2, 4, 6, 5 into 10 plus 8. So if I have to check for this number's, let's say, divisibility by 2, what I have to do is I don't have to worry about this number, because this part, obviously a 10 is made out of what? A 10 is made up of 5 into 2. That means I need not check for divisibility of this whole number, this number by 2, right? This will obviously be divisible by 2 because you have 10 here in the multiple. So all you have to do is you have to check for divisibility here. That means the unit digit, whether that's divisible by 2 or not. Now you also know that 10 is made up of 5 and 2. That means the rule that we apply for 2, you can apply the same rule for 5 also. That means if you have to check for, let's say, your divisibility of 5, you can say last digit divisible by 5, or if it's a 0, right, that is also that's going to be divisible by 5. Now, so rule of 2 is very simple, we learnt it. Rule of 5 also we learned from the same thing. Let's say now let's discuss for a second a rule of 4 before we go to rule of 3. Now rule of 4 would be what? This says last 2 digits divisible by 4. And I'm sure you can now do the same thing, logic here. That means if a number is, let's say, of the form A, B, C, D, you can say I can write it as AB 00 plus CD, or I can write it as AB into 100 plus CD. Now obviously I know that if I take out the unit and the tens digit, whatever number AB into 100, that means 100 is made up of 2 square and 5 square. That means this 4 would always be able to divide this number, right, completely. Only you have to check for CD, and that's why we say rule of 4 should be last 2 digit divisible by 4. Now you will also notice that the rule for 5, we looked at the last digit. 5 square also makes up 100. That means for 25 also, if you have to check, you can just check the last 2 digits. If the last 2 digits are divisible, are 00 or divisible by 25, that means this number is also divisible by 25. So now on the same logic, if you have to figure out the rule of 8, again the same thing. That means if a number is of the form, let's say 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, 8, 4, 4. If you have to check this number whether this number is divisible by 8, all you do is you check the last 3 digits. That means you check the last 3 digits divisible by 8. And why do we do that? Because this number can be written as 2, 3, 4, 6, 5 into 1000. plus 844. Now 1000 is made up of 8 and 125. That means 8 would always be here, so you need not check this whole thing here. This would always be divisible by 8. All you have to do is you have to check the last 3 digits divisible by 8 or not. So if this is divisible by 8, you can say this is divisible by 8. If this is not divisible by 8, you can say this is not divisible by 8. So very simple rule for 8 as well. Now let's come to rule of 3. Rule of 3 works same as rule of 9. So I can say this rule of 3 or 9. So, and why do we say that is, okay, let's take this 9 separate. So let's say if you have to check number 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 1, whether this number is divisible by 3 or not. The rule is sum of digits to be divisible by 3. Now how do we arrive at this number? Let's say you have a small number, like let's say you have 81. Now you can write this as in the 10a plus b form. That means you can say 10 into 8 plus 1. So now what this rule says is that 10a plus b can also be written as 9a plus a plus b. That means this a plus b, if this is divisible by 3, because this is always going to be divisible by 3, isn't it? In fact, this would also be divisible by 9 as well, because you can separate out the 9a. So all you have to do is you have to check for just the sum of digits. Similarly, if you have a 3-digit number, like let's say you have 100a plus 10b plus c. Again, what you can do is you can separate it out, like you can say a plus b plus c, and what is remaining with you is 99a plus 9b. That means even if it's a 3-digit number, this would always be divisible by 3 or 9. All you have to check is sum of digits. So sum of digits divisible by 3, meaning the number is divisible by 3, and the same applies for rule of 9 as well. That means sum of digits to be divisible by 9. Now I hope we have learned so far rule of 2, we learned rule of 5, we learned rule of 3, in fact 4 and 8 and 9, and in fact 25 and 125 also, right? Okay, so let's look at a few more rules. Now rule of 6 is very simple. Rule of 6 meaning you have to check for rule of 2, divisibility by 2 and 3. That means if the number is divisible by 2 as well as 3, the number would be divisible by 6. That means first you have to check whether the last digit is even or 0, and you have to check sum of digits divisible by 3. If it applies, if it's divisible by these two, it will be divisible by 6. Now rule of 7 is interesting. Rule of 7, let's say if a number is of the form ABC, what you have to do is you have to double the unit digit and subtract from the remaining number. That means you have to say AB minus 2 into C. If this difference is 0 or multiple of 7, you can say this number is divisible by 7. Now, but what if the number is big? The number is of the format A, B, C, D, E, F, right? Now, if a 6-digit or 7-digit or 8 or 20-digit number, you cannot do this rule, because this is going to take a long time, because ultimately you're left with this minus 2f and then you have to check again. So what you could also do is you can make pairs of 3 each. That means starting from this side, the rightmost side. That means 3 digits, if you check D, E, F and you say minus A, B, C, if this 3-digit pair, if this difference is equal to 0 or a multiple of 7 again, that means this is divisible by 7. If not, it's not divisible by 7. So we learned the rule of 7. Rule of 8, same thing. I think we have learned rule of 8. if yes, rule of 8 we have already learned. So rule of 9 also we learned. Rule of 10 is very simple. Rule of 10 meaning last digit has to be 0. And this I need not explain also. Rule of 11 is also interesting. So let's discuss rule of 11. So rule of 11 is the difference of sum of digits at odd places minus sum of digits at even places. That means if a number is of the form, let's say a, b, c, d, you can say if a plus c minus b plus d, if this is 0 or multiple of 11, that means this is divisible by 11. Now rule of 12 works the same way like rule of 6. Rule of 12 meaning 12 is made up of 3 and 4. That means you have to check for divisibility of 3. That means sum of digits to be divisible by 3, and then you check the last 2 digits divisible by 4. That means the number would be divisible by 12. Okay. Last we have the rule of 13. This works same as rule of 7. That means if a number is of the form a, b, c, d, e, f, what you do is you make pair of 3 and you will subtract it. That means d, e, f minus a, b, c, and if this comes to be to 0 or multiple of 13, this is divisible by 13. Okay, so we learned so many rules. We also saw the concepts behind some of these rules. Now this table I'm sure you can fill on your own. This is very easy. It says rule of 2, unit digit is even or 0. 3, sum of digits divisible by 3. 4, we learned last 2 digits divisible by 4. 5 is very easy, last digit is 5 or 0. 6 to be divisible by 2 and 3. 7, double the unit digit, subtract from the remaining part. But if the numbers are big, you can take of pairs of 3, right? Like how we see a, b, c, d, e, f. So you said a, b, c, d, e, f. So you said this is one pair and this is another pair. So this minus this, if it's 0 or a multiple of 7, it is divisible by 7. 8 we learned, this is 125 into 8. That means that's what makes 1000. So we just have to check for last 3 digits. Sum of digits to be divisible by 9 for 9. 10 we learned it. 11 again sum of digits at odd places minus sum of digits at even places. This is a multiple of 0 or 11. It is divisible by 11. 12 again we apply rule for 3 and 4 and we get it. 13 difference between the pair of 3 like we did for 7. All right. Now let's attempt this question. This says, what is the possible value of k if this number is divisible by 9? Now we already know the divisibility of 9. The divisibility of 9 was sum of digits to be divisible by 9, isn't it? Sum of digits to be divisible by 9. Now let's check the sum of digits here. 3 plus 2 5 plus 4 9 plus 5 14, 1 15, 15 and 7 22. That means it says 22 plus k to be divisible by 9. Now if you check the 9 multiples, let's say you have 9 into 3 is how much? 27, and 9 into 2 is 18. Now obviously this cannot be minus, that means k has to be a positive value from 0 to 9. So this obviously cannot come because it's already 22. It can either be 22 or 35, but even 35 this cannot be because maximum value for k could be 9. So that means this can only become 27. Now for this to become 27, to be a multiple of 9, the value of k would be 5. This is extremely simple. So this is how we could take out the value of k. Okay, now just a very small concept, I won't take more than a minute. So if you know, in our earlier classes we would have learned a number to be in the form of, let's say, what is remainder. So let's say if you have a number, let's say 31, and you want to divide it by 5. So what you do is 5 into 6 and you get 30, and then you subtract it, you get 1. So ultimately what is this 5? Your 5 is nothing but the divisor, your 6 is nothing but your quotient, and your 1 is nothing but your remainder. That means this number 31 which we were dividing, I can write this number n equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder, right? That means here was, what was the number? 31, this one, right, equals to, I can say 5 into 6 plus 1, which was the remainder. This is one format in which we can write a number. Now this is helpful because sometimes you get questions on this. Let's attempt one question to further this understanding. So it says, how many 3-digit numbers leave remainder of 1 when divided by 4? 3-digit numbers, okay. So 3-digit numbers can start from 100 to, let's say, your 999, right? These are 3-digit numbers. This is the smallest number, this is the largest number. How many 3-digit numbers leave remainder of 1 when divided by 4? That means it has to be a multiple of 4. That's 4k, right, or cube, whatever you want to write, plus 1, because this is not exactly divisible by 4, it leaves a remainder of 1. That means all of those numbers would be sort of in this format, right? Na to nz, whatever, right? Now if I have to say that it is a multiple of 4k plus 1 and it has to be 3 digits, so minimum value for this, if let's say I take 24, it comes to 24 into 4 is 96 plus 1, 97. That's not a 3-digit number. So the smallest number, that means if you see k's value, would start from 25 up till what? Up till, let's say, what? So k, if value of k is 25, the smallest number would be 25 into 400 plus 1. So 101 is that smallest number of that format. This is the first number, right? That means k's value is starting from 25 to k's value. Now what can be the k's highest value? If it is 250, it becomes 1000 plus 1. That will anyways. So that means k's value has to be not 250, it has to be 249, because with 250 it becomes more than 1000, and which is again a 4-digit number, but we have to find 3-digit number. That means k's value can range from 25 to 249, right? At 249, how much would it give you? 996 and plus 1, right? Isn't it? So 997. So this is your range and your number, but we have to count from here 25 till 249. That means how many values are there? You can say 249 minus 25. How much is this? 4. This is 2, 225. So a lot of people are tempted to attempt this 224, but just a second. When you count numbers like that from 25 to 249, you always do whatever subtract plus 1. That's the number, you know, the counting. So for example, if I am doing, let's say, from 2 to 8, if I have to count, I'll do 8 minus 2 plus 1. Why? Because you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a small concept, but I've seen people making mistakes in aptitude. So I want to just make sure that you know this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 values. If you get 8 minus 2, you get 6. But you have to add plus 1. Similarly, we did in this question. And see, the examination also exam has also given first option as 224, so that people make this mistake. But let's be careful and mark the right option. So I hope you got a good understanding of divisibility rules, the logic behind divisibility rules, and we also attempted a couple of questions. Now in the next video, I want to build on the same concept of remainder, and we will see how large numbers, how to check whether large numbers leave a certain remainder or not. So thanks for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.